Shalom Aleichem, my sweet friends, fellow Orthodox Jewish brothers and sisters around the world. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Chagim and preparing for Sukkot, and have a Shana Tova, a very sweet, loving, conscious, joyful year. I just want to give a very, very important message for this year. And I've seen, Baruch Hashem, that the vast majority of Jewish homes and Jewish schools are actually very healthy and wonderful and produce really good, well thought out, well-adjusted human beings. However, I'm seeing a minority but not insignificant number of people who are coming out of these institutions very, very disturbed and very, very hurt and even traumatized from what they're learning there. Because sometimes we give across the message of Judaism really, really in a very unhealthy and in a wrong way, and we all want our children to be well-adjusted human beings who love Hashem and love being Jewish and love Jewish practice and Jewish philosophy. But really there are two F's. And with these two F's are really ruin everything, and they're fear and force. Fear and force. A fear-based Judaism. God is this man in the sky, and he's going to punish you, and you're going to go to Gehenna, and if you don't cover your knees and your elbows, then you're going to get raped. Dina got raped because she was not sanua. That's very, very, very unhealthy. It's very, very sick to tell an 11 or 12-year-old girl that. Surely there's got to be more to being a Jewish woman than covering your knees and elbow, which is very important, very important. We must do that, they must, but not in this fear-based, strange way. So our children need to be shown that Hashem loves them completely, unconditionally. Completely. I love my children. Do you know what my children have to do to deserve my love? What do they have to do well in school? Do they have to follow everything I say? Nothing is the answer. They don't need to do anything to deserve my love. They deserve my love anyway. They're my children. And it's the same with Hashem. Banim atem l'Hashem Elokeichem. We are Hashem's children. Hashem loves us completely, completely, unconditionally. And He's guiding us, and He wants us to do the right thing. So a girl once said to me, "Rabbi, is Hashem upset with me if I eat not kosher food?" And I said, I don't think Hashem's upset with you, but Hashem's upset for you. Because you're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the things that are going to help you increase your level of spirituality. So we can't use fear. I know it says in the Torah that God gets angry, but it also says in the Torah that God has a strong right hand. He took us out of Egypt with an outstretched arm and a strong right hand. He doesn't have an arm and a hand, and He definitely doesn't get angry. I don't even get angry particularly. It's a terrible, terrible character trait. So it doesn't mean that. We've got to look much, much deeper. It just means, okay, there are consequences if we don't do the right thing in our lives. I've heard some really, really disturbing stories. Once again, I'm not saying it's the majority. It's not the majority. But people who were told that if they don't do Nagel Wasser, they'll go blind. A kid whose parents didn't feed him because he didn't make brachas. Another kid who got locked in a bedroom until he davens mincha. It's very, very, very sick. It's very, very sad. Forcing your children, you have to bench. Now it turns benching into a punishment. You just got to say it's an opportunity. We have an opportunity now to bench, to connect, to do something meaningful. We just got to do these things really, really in the right way. Otherwise, we're gonna turn out very, very hurt people. I met this one girl, Beis Yaakov girl, and she had tattoos, and she told me about her upbringing, and very, very abusive, and God's gonna send you to Gehenna, and it's all like a system of if you kiss the mezuzah enough times, then you'll get a good shidduch, and it's just really weird, sad things. And I said to her, you know what, Baruch Hashem, you're not off the derech. And she was like, what do you mean I'm not off the derech? I got tattoos, I got a non-Jewish boyfriend, what do you mean? And I said, you're not off the derech because you were never on the derech. That's not the derech. It's not anger and fire and brimstone and angry. That's not the Jewish derech. The derech is one of love and acceptance. We got to understand that everyone is worthy. Everyone is acceptable. I'm going to go there. I wasn't going to go there, but I'm getting these messages from parents in America. My child is homosexual now. Or they're telling me I just got a Beis Yaakov girl who is transgender. She wants to be a man. What should I do? It's so embarrassing. It's terrible. And I say to them, do you know what you should do? Don't ostracize your children. Don't hate them. Don't kick them out of the house just because you're embarrassed about what the community says. You have to love your children. You have to love them even more. It's terribly painful for them. A child who grew up, especially in a religious home, they don't want to be gay. They don't choose to be gay. It's very, very painful. It's an immense, immense psychological and physical, spiritual struggle for them. They don't want that. They didn't choose it. So what do they need? They need extra love. They need you to hold them and be there for them and hear them. They're very, very important. We got to understand. You might not accept what they're doing and you think it's bad for them, but you can still accept them, you can still love them, and ask yourself, what's your own avoda? What's your own? Why has Hashem given you a gay child? And the avoda is, can you love someone unconditionally? Just love them. Just love them and accept them and hold them and guide them. If we can't love our own children, then how are we going to love anyone else? It's very, very important. So forcing someone, you've got a bench, otherwise you'll go to Gehenna. And it's not healthy. It's not going to do what we want. We just want to help our children love Judaism. And I know, once again, I don't think it's the majority at all, but it's a significant amount of people. I think that the parents and maybe the teachers, they also grew up with this, and they also got hurt, and they also got abused, and they're just passing it on. And we've got to realize that if we're not living with our own joy, our own simcha, our own connection, our own understanding, then we can't pass it on to our children. I saw this guy and he was like, my parents are telling me to do all these things, but they're not even doing it. I saw my dad doing mincha, and he was just looking out the window and he's mumbling his brachas, and he's clearly not really connecting. So how does he expect me to connect? So first we need to build our own loving, conscious relationship with Judaism, with Hashem. And then we've got to pass it on to our children in a very, very sweet and very, very, very loving way. This guy came up to me. Once again, he grew up in this home and he got hit if he didn't make brachas, and then he went off the derech, not that he was on the derech. And I told him in mashal, I said, imagine, there's a community and they love ice cream and they have ice cream festivals and they have ice cream songs and they learn all about ice cream and they know the gematria of ice cream and they have commentaries and it's all about ice cream and ice cream festivals, but then they force feed their children chili powder ice cream. And it's a disgusting, painful, abusive experience. So as soon as they're 12, 13, however old, they get out of there and they swear, I'm never going to have ice cream again. I can't do it. And then I come along, I'm this Baal Tshuva rabbi, and I'm like, ice cream, let's have ice cream. Do you know how beautiful ice cream is? And they're just like, I just go throw up. And I said, I don't know what you think ice cream is, but this is what ice cream is. It's very sweet. It's very cooling. It's very refreshing. Here's a spoon. Come and try some ice cream. But by that time, often it's just too late. They're too traumatized by this. So we've really got to do this. We've got to get this into our school system. Once again, it's not the majority. My daughter goes to a Beis Yaakov school, very healthy, very loving. But just for this small minority, we've got to get it into the school system. We've got to understand, what is Hashem? Hashem is a conscious, loving being that's keeping us alive at every moment, that gave us a guidebook to help us live the most joyful and conscious and connected and moral and sweet and decent life. And it often seems to me that the parents are very, very religious, but they're not decent human beings. They're just not nice. Do you know how many children have come up to me and said, I just want to be loved. I just want to be loved and accepted. So that's what we've got to give our children. We've got to get this in every Beis Yaakov school, every yeshiva, high school, every school. Let's just get it out there, that you are lovable, you are acceptable, even if you do something wrong. I said to my son the other day, what do you think you can do to make me stop loving you? And he said, draw on the wall. And I thought, that's amazing. That's the worst thing he could do. But I said to him, even if you draw on the wall, even if you knock down the wall, I still love you. You'll be in trouble, but I still love you. I love you. I love you for who you are. And this is what's going to make us have well-adjusted children who love being a Jew, who want to give that to their children, who understand why are we putting on tzitzit? Because God says so, and you'll be in trouble. No, there's an idea. Tzitzit is hugging you. It's a spiritual body armor. Everything's got a deep, beautiful meaning, a reason behind it. And often the parents and the teachers don't really know necessarily the reason. And often it's the biggest neshamas. They just want more and they're searching for answers. And we often just shut them down. And it's very, very painful. So this year, let's make it a year of love. Let's bring love back into our schools. Love back into our homes. Love and acceptance and joy. Be'ezras Hashem. Let's all get together. Let's work for this together as a Jewish people. Be'ezras Hashem, and make Hashem proud of us and bring out the mission of the Jewish people in the world, which is really to be a light unto ourselves and then a light unto the rest of the world. Be'ezras Hashem, Shana Tova.